Is it time for Masvidal and Leon Edwards to fight? Yes. My answer to that is yes, for a couple of reasons. First off, and guys, don't forget why this fight didn't happen. It didn't happen because they got into a beef. They got into a physical altercation, which is illegal, and it was caught on camera. And before you go, Chael, that's exactly why it does need to happen. That's great promotion. No, it's a slippery slope. If that fight would have got booked right away, that's just everybody is gonna see. All I need to do is act like a buffoon and make sure a camera's going to get the fight that I want, right? So that's the whole reason that got delayed. But we still understand that fight needs to happen, right? I mean, Leon gets to answer for the 3-piece of the soda at some point, right? There's got to be a level of fair to this. And what else are you going to do? And that's also a part of it. You just default to it. What else are you going to do? Do you have a better idea? They now have a common opponent in Nate Diaz. Time to get those guys in there. Leon deserves something very good to happen to him. It's been 5 years. It's been 10 fights. He's had a run of bad luck. A pandemic hit. He couldn't even get out of his country for a period of time, right? I mean, you guys remember all the stuff that's happened to Leon? He deserves something good to happen to him. And a fight with Masvidal would be massive. Sure it would. Not to mention, I don't know who wins that fight. That's a very competitive match. Masvidal is one of the top guys, regardless if he just got shut off. He is one of the top guys. Leon's ranked number 3 in the world, right? I mean, it's one of those things where I don't know what you're going to get Masvidal to do that he doesn't want to do. He's a little bit picky. He's in a position right now to be a little bit picky. He just fought for the belt. I mean, some guys never come back at all. And that's not a wrong answer either. I mean, but some guys do that. Put your whole life into something, make it to that opportunity, doesn't go your way, and they never come back. Very common. Masvidal's not doing that. Masvidal, for sure, is going to keep competing. And I just feel as though that time is now. I don't know that I love the idea of Leon being recognized for his accomplishments as a number 1 contender and then forced to sit. It's extremely uncommon that a number 1 contender gets stated when the fight hasn't happened yet. We saw this with Francis Ngannou. When Francis Ngannou became the number 1 contender at a press conference, DC and Stipe still had like 2 months until their fight. So Francis had to wait 8 months to be able to compete, and Francis didn't like it. He did not think that was a nice reward. He did not think that was respectful. He thought that made him unemployed for 8 months. He's right. I mean, that's a fair point. I don't know that I love the idea. I don't know that Leon would either. Hey, you're going to wait till Colby and Kamaru get done? You can't count on that. No way can you count on that. Colby goes out there and beats Usman. You don't think Usman deserves a rubber match? You don't think Usman automatically becomes the number 1 contender to the very championship that he has that's in question right now? Of course he does. That's not right. Colby goes out and beats Usman, and then we bring in Leon. You get my point, though, right? If you're in Leon's shoes and you're going to wait to take on a winner of a fight that's in the future, which, by the way, you have no idea how that fight's going to go. Some fights have to be redone. They have to. Something happens, something bizarre. Aljo is going through it right now, right? He's going through it right now with Jan, the knee and the disqualification, the belt changes hands, and it never happened before. You just got to do it again. But that holds up every other 135-pounder. They don't have their marching orders. They don't know where to go from here. And I just feel that we would get it wrong as a community if we tried to reward and recognize Leon. And the reward due to the recognition of naming him the number 1 contender is that he has to wait for a match that may or may not come to fruition. A lot of things to consider there. Ultimately, we just need to turn to Leon. Hey, what do you want to do? He can answer the question really quickly. I'm attempting to speculate on it, but there is moving parts that perhaps you haven't considered. And then when you get in the X's and O's of an actual fight between Masvidal and Edwards, that gets interesting fast. Edwards is better than I knew he was. I knew he was very good. He's better than I knew he was. I mean, I watched him stay so composed against Nate. Edwards' post-fight interview was possibly the most telling part of the evening for me because he was speaking as calmly as I am right now. He was not huffing and puffing in the least. He did 25 hard minutes and was completely fine 60 seconds later to give an interview and speak calmly. And the way that he fought Nate was very intelligent. He understood Nate's open for leg kicks, right? We all already know that, but he understood that, but he didn't throw too many of them. He worked them in, and the ones that he used were extremely efficient, extremely powerful, extremely on point, and then he protected himself, and then he moved. He knew when to jab. He knew when to throw power. He knew when to do combinations. He knew when to get out of the pocket. Mix up just enough grappling, keep Nate guessing. I mean, he did some things very well. He deserves credit. Leon deserves a lot of credit. I would just suggest that if we believe recognizing and giving him that credit by giving him the reward of naming him number one contender and making him wait, I would just ask, don't forget, because we just saw this. Don't forget when we did that with Ngannou, it was meant to be a compliment to Ngannou. It pissed him off. First thing Ngannou did when he won the championship, he said, I'm going to fight. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay busy. I took him at his word. I realized things appear to be a little bit held up. He appears to kind of be pushing for this John Jones business instead of taking on Derek Lewis. I'm a little surprised that fight isn't signed. I feel as though that should be signed and that should be in July, which is 3 weeks away. But I don't know what we're waiting on here. Derek's ready to go. Francis is ready to go. Dana says he wants to fight. Something's happening, right? Something's going on there. I think that Francis is going to get what he wants. I do believe that Francis is going to see John Jones in that cage. I believe that Francis is going to see Stipe again. I believe that Francis is going to see Derek Lewis next. Sounds like we're all saying the same thing, just slightly different. But something is amiss here, and nobody's spoken up about it. Nobody said who the skunk at the garden party is, but somebody isn't coming to the table in some fashion. At least it appears.